Okay. I decided to make the video now. How do I even properly word this? How? So, like I've told you all before, I've been pulling in the energy, the plasma, the prana from the stellar gateway over the last, I would say, month, really heavily. I started about a year ago becoming aware of those other chakras, but last month I threw it into my regular meditations. And what I mean by meditations is every single night I spend at least 1 to 3 hours doing energy work on my body before bed. Okay, and I wasn't doing this very consistently up until recently. January was basically a rock bottom for me health-wise, and I had a lot of heart problems, and it turns out that the heart chakra is a very big stumbling block when it comes to a permanent Kundalini awakening. Recently, I don't know, over the last 2 weeks or so, my Kundalini, my phonon wave, my ultraviolet cascading phonon wave, whatever the hell you want to call it, the helical Birkeland current through the center of the body that runs up the spine and the endocrine system intertwining together, has been non-stop flowing and cycling. Before, I would raise it up. I'd go through life, I'd get stressed out, drama, bullshit would happen. My cerebral spinal fluid would drop back down, because that's what it does for people throughout the day. It goes back down. Well, now, ever since I tapped into that stellar gateway, it's just like being pulled up and staying up constantly, especially when I do these 1 to 3 hour energy work sessions before bed. Last night was incredible. I spent 2 to 3 hours cycling the charge. And what I would do is I would activate all 7 basic chakras, and then I would do the 9, and then I just say 10 because I add the stellar above my soul star, and then I pull that down into my field, and I spin the torus around my brain, around my head, and it just pulls it down into that twist, and then I'll just get this fucking huge lump of pressure that will go down, and it will get stuck where it gets stuck, and it usually will get stuck in my heart first, and then I breathe really heavily and hard and pull it down, and it feels like a panic attack kinda, and then all of a sudden it will just start moving into my stomach, and then I'll feel my heart beat really heavily, and it will be crazy in my stomach. Wherever this bulge of energy goes, as it lights up each chakra, it's like, just, you feel your heartbeat so heavy there, and it's making these weird sensations and tingly feelings. Anyway, so I pull that bulge of energy down, and I push it all. This takes a long time, by the way. I push it all the way down into my sacral and my root, and then here's my coccyx, or the bottom of my spine, and here's my front endocrine system. I essentially envision it going like this. And sometimes I'll just envision it transferring over through the coccyx. You know how there's little holes in the coccyx? Like, I like to envision that the energy is just going through there. But after a while, that bulge of energy will go into my coccyx and just light up that ultraviolet phonon wave, or Kundalini. The charged cerebral spinal fluid starts to kick off. I get these burny, tingly sensations. It feels like a little electric shocks. And then I push that up into my spine, and then it will usually get stuck where it gets stuck, and most of the time it gets stuck on the back of my heart chakra, on that centripetal funnel that comes out of my spine, that's adjacent to the front of my heart chakra. So it's like so anyway, then I push that into my brain, and it's just, once it goes up into my head, it's such a relief. It feels so good. I've usually been working at it for like an hour or two, and then that lump, I just flow it, dude. And then before I know it, my body is chill, and I can fucking eject. And that's what I did last night, and it was fucking incredible. So, like, it's weird. I don't know how to explain this, how I trigger it, but I pulse my heart in connection with my spine, and I just go ugh, inward. It's like this rush of vertigo, and then I'm just blasted out of my body. And this time was fucking incredible because I was in full control of where I was going. I was blind at first, and I would just fly straightward into the darkness as fast as I could. And something was like latching onto my sacral and slingshotting me in different directions. I like to think it's my guardian angel, because it wasn't, whoever did it was not ill intentioned. So, but I blasted off 3 different times last night in bed in succession. Every time I got back into my physical body, I was like, oh my God, I have to go back. And I would just do that vertigo, heart pulse sensation and blast back out. But anyway, this is the incredible part. I went into this like insane middle astral realm. It was like a big, bright colored city, very vibrant at night. And I looked over on this balcony, and there was this glowing pink ring of fire. Just like, you know, like just like, and I floated up on top of the balcony. I stepped into it, and this holographic menu popped up with, dude, it looked like something you'd see like on a tablet. And there were different options of simulations that I could choose, and it was so fucking incredible. Like, one of them was like, it had to do with gorillas, and I was just like, no, I don't want to fuck with gorillas, dude. I just don't. And I was like scrolling, it would, the menu was like shifting, and it had pictures with it, with like a caption on the side of what it was. And one of them was, things just keep getting worse. And it's like basically described to where you're just going about like this like simulation, this incarnation, but little things just keep getting crazier and worse. And it's like you have to problem solve to deal with it. Here's an example. Like I was started out alone, and basically I was just thrown into the seat of a giant semi truck that was already moving like 60 miles an hour downhill, with like, it was like a freeway, and there was like cars on each side, and I all of a sudden had to learn how to drive it like immediately. So I was like struggling to shift down to slow down because there was all these turns, and I couldn't get it to slow down. So what I did is I just floated out the top of the truck, hovered in the air, and watched it go off a cliff and fucking explode. And then all of a sudden I went from that scenario to being in a house with like, there was like 5 of us, 3 women and 2 men, and I was one of the men. And for example, one of the things that was happening was there was like this weird plant-like confetti material that was like pink and white. It wouldn't stop growing on the walls, and it was like spreading, and we were like trying to stop it. And then it got kind of, there was a sexual situation that happened, and I won't go into detail. Let's just say the simulation was not rated G. But it didn't work out in a really funny way. Then another time I blasted off, I was like presented with this like holographic map. It looked like the map you see on like Skyrim. It had like, it was like weird continents, and I kept scrolling up, and there was this little round island with a dinosaur insignia, and I went there. And it was like, all of a sudden I was there, and there was like palm trees, and there was all these big ass dinosaurs, but they weren't moving. They were like frozen. And so I was like, oh, is this like statues or something? And all of a sudden I went by this triceratops, and then it became animated and alive and started moving around. Then I looked around, and all the other ones were moving around too. It just hit me. It was like, oh my God, this is literally, these are games for consciousness. These are literal simulations with like mathematical coding. This is the middle astral realm, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm not sure if it was the causal or above, but it was not evil at all. None of these places I went to had any ounce of evil in them. It was like very vibrant and just like happy. Dude, it was like I put on a goddamn VR headset by blasting it through my Kundalini, imploding my aura. I'm just so blown away by this because I've never had so much control before. I've never been able to really go where the hell I want and pick and choose and fast travel to different locations and simulations. I've usually always just like kind of been like a blind baby, and I go wherever I go randomly. This time I was in full control and going and picking what I wanted to play out and happen. This is a really crazy thing I wanted to bring up. There was a brunette in that one simulation in the house where everything would keep going wrong. She made a comment. She said, "It never gets old, even if you've been dead for 30 years. And that blew me away. It was like, is this chick like was a human before, and then like her soul basically has been cycling in the middle astral spheres through these simulations and like healing and working through karma and shit? Like, it blew me away. And I had another realization that this is what Ra was talking about in the Law of One, when humans would ascend into fourth density and above. This is it. You would be able to go out of body into the astral realms and retain your lucid memory. This is the fourth dimension and above. That's what they were talking about when you ascend into 4D, 5D. I had it in my mind for some reason, our physical body would die and then we just like turn into this light being. No, dude, you can be 3D. You can implode your aura, go 4D, 5D, 6D, however high. It doesn't matter how high. It's just how much you learn and grow and heal. The sky's, it's limitless. So that was another realization I had. We really truly are ascending into fourth density and above. And this is how charging our Kundalini, raising up our spine, imploding our aura, becoming more electrically conductive, and then we're able to retain this memory while we're out of body. We're able to remain lucid while we leave our body and bring that information back into our physical body to remember it. It's all about coherence and electrical capacitance. So I made 2 videos instantly when I woke up. When I came back into my body. Right after, in the pitch black darkness in my room. And I'm gonna play those here in a little bit for you. But I'm just so blown away by this, and I feel like I need to teach people how to do it. Dude, it took me about 12 fucking years, hours of discipline each day to do this. I started in around 2011 fucking with my chakras and putting my awareness there and just trying to feel them. And it was like hit and miss, trial and error, so many errors, so many mistakes, but year by year I got better and had more and more out of body experiences. And then I had a Kundalini awakening in 2017 when I was 33, but something changed for me in February. It's like the Kundalini never dropped. It's like once I opened up that stellar gateway, the tap is just fucking open. I feel like it's my mission to help teach you guys how to do this. I went through so much suffering. I didn't work most of my mid to late 20s. All I did was research conspiracy theories and spirituality. I destroyed 2 relationships, long-term relationships, because I was so hermetic in my learning that I neglected those relationships. Like, I have sacrificed a lot to learn this information. I didn't read any of it in a book. I feel like I can easily teach any one of you how to do this, but you gotta want it. You gotta have the discipline and the courage to. Not everybody can go lay in bed for 1 to 3 hours and do energy work on their body. Of course, I'm listening to music, but still, it takes a fuck ton of discipline, and it's so well worth it. Oh my God. But I'm just glad I have you all to talk to about this, because it's fucking crazy. And people that know me in my 3D life here, they'd probably think I'm fucking insane, or they just wouldn't want to hear it. But I love you all so much, and I'm going to attach those lucid dream journals, whatever the hell you want to call them, here to the video next. So I'm missing a lot of information. I wanted to say so much more, but I'm just going off the cuff as usual. I love you all. Stay up, baby. Happy fucking Saturn's Day, and have a beautiful fucking Sunday. All right? Stay up. Incredible, incredible, incredible breakthrough. I pushed my Kundalini up for 3 hours straight. All of a sudden, I was able to manually activate it. And when I did, I would go inward, blasted into an astral realm. This time was more different than any other. I'm having chills running through my body right now. Usually it's blackness, and I'm just really like a blind baby, not knowing what I'm doing. This time I went to a realm where it was a city, and I just forced my eyes open. I was blind. I forced my eyes open, and I could see finally. It just took a while to see, but I could see. I know how to do it now. On this upper balcony was this glowing pink. Oh God, I'm getting chills. This glowing pink. It was like a ring of fire you see in magic artwork sometimes. I stepped into it. When I stepped into it, there was this. How do I explain this? It was like etheric hologram popped up with options, fucking options of different simulations with different rules. And I stood there and read them all and selected which simulation I wanted to enter with which rules. And this is oh God, I just got a huge chill up my back. This was one of the simulations. Things go wrong over and over and over, a new thing. Let's just say it was not rated PG. Okay. I did it. I chose that one. I went into it, and it started up by myself, but then there was a group of around 3 women and 2 men, me and another guy. And we were in this house, and it was insane. Like, one of the things that went wrong was the walls started growing this like weird confetti plant stuff, and it wouldn't go away. Oh my God. There was some sexual stuff. I didn't really choose that. It just kind of happened. But it didn't work out in a really funny way. It didn't work out. Oh, that's all I'll say about that. I'm losing the memory. Fuck. I flew around a lot. One of the simulations I went in was a truck driver. I was all of a sudden sitting in a giant semi-truck seat and had to shift, and it was going downhill at night, and there was cars all around, and I had to like quickly learn it, and I ejected and shot off the top and hovered in the air and watched it just fly off a cliff because I gave up. That was another one. There was another really weird one I entered that was like an esoteric teaching session. It had to do with a tree and whips and symbology. It was fucking crazy. Oh my God, there's more. Every time I was in this like middle ground where I was choosing simulations, and it was right when I would leave my body, something kept grabbing me by the sacral and like redirecting me and throwing me. Something was helping me. And it was really crazy feeling too. Like, it was slightly painful, but not really. It was just a lot of pressure. Something was slingshotting me. I know how to do it now. I know how to traverse. It's just like a fucking video game, an open world simulation video game. It's I'm just flabbergasted right now. It's like midnight. It's about to be Saturday, and I am losing the memory so fast. This is crazy. I know how to do it.
You breathe in the giant prana bulges by connecting to the stellar gateway. Suck it down into the soul star, crown, right through the central front chakra channel. It becomes a giant bulge. It's very uncomfortable, and you have to keep moving it down into your sacral and root. It'll transfer over into your coccyx, activate the Kundalini, push it up into the brain. Keep cycling. Keep cycling till the bulge is dissipated and flowing. Then it activates. This is it, baby. This is what Ra was talking about in the Law of One, how humans would ascend into fourth density. We don't just ascend into this 5D light being, 4D light being. No. We are able to go between 3D, 4D, 5D, and above. I'm just simply playing in the astral realm still. And sometimes when I'm lucky, the causal. I need to get up there now. I need to go into the 5D and above. But I have to master this too. I'm so happy and invigorated and groggy. Oh my God. I have no fucking words anymore. I have no words. I had to mention this. One of the women in the simulation with me said something in passing. So insane. She said, it never gets old, even if you've been dead for 30 years. And I just got chills right there. What the fuck? Make of that what you will. She was a brunette. We had fun. Oh my God. There's other shit that happened too. I'm losing the memory of it. All I remember is the truck, the flying in the in-between space, right when you blast off and being slingshotted. And the simulations. There was this crazy simulation with gorillas. I did not choose that one. I did not want to fuck with astral gorillas. No, it sounded bad. This city was so vibrant, though. It was so colorful. Oh, here's another one that happened. I blasted off like 3-4 times. I could probably do it again right now. When I blasted off one of the times, a giant holographic map popped up. And it was like a different planet, though. Like it had weird continents. And it started scrolling. And I kept scrolling it up farther, farther, farther. And it showed this tiny island with a dinosaur insignia. It was like the shape of a circle on like the northern pole of this planet on this map. And I chose it. And when I chose it, I fast traveled to this place. And I walked around. And there was palm trees and dinosaurs. But they like started out as like not moving. And then when I started walking around this triceratops, it came to life. Then I looked around and all the other ones came to life. Fuck, dude, it's so crazy. It's hitting me. These are like literal simulations. Like fucking, like video games. Like the Matrix. It's fucking insane. It's like consciousness created them like with mathematical coding or something to experience and be entertained. And oh my God, I'm so tripped out right now. You guys don't understand why I'm so tripped out. I mean, it's because I was in control finally. 100% in control. Like a kid walking into an arcade or something. I usually just go where I go. This was me choosing. Over and over choosing. And learning the dynamics and the rules so much more now, especially what to do with my body and the stellar gateway. The whole process of pulling it in, transferring it into Kundalini energy. I know now. I know exactly what the fuck to do. Exactly. Man, we are so powerful. We can be here in 3D in this simulation. We can push up our Kundalini. We can go to 4D and above. We are ascending and remembering our powers. This is fucking incredible. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. Stay up, baby.